Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this?
Hi everybody, it's Doreen, and welcome back to part 2 of the baby shower gift that I've made for a co-worker's daughter who is getting ready to have a baby. Now, as I said before, they don't know what the sex of the baby is, as if it's a boy or a girl, so I kind of did a theme of some spring colors or summer colors: yellow, green, blue, and pink. So what I wanted to show you today is the gift that I'm making, or I have made, for the shower. Now, I'm not going to show how I made the gift, but I want to show you something that I'm adding to the gift that is a silhouette file. And I am going to show you how to put the silhouette file together. So I'm going to bring it up, and this is what I have made to go with the gift that I'm going to be taking to the baby shower. So it is a baby buggy or stroller. Now, it is a 3D file, so it looks like this from the top, but I laid it on its side so you can see what the side view looks like. So come on and join me, and I'm going to show you how I made this project. Okay everybody, so before we get started and I show you how I set up my file on my mat, I wanted to talk about how I did this. What I wanted to do was I wanted to use some cardstock that was double-sided, but I didn't have anything that kind of fit the theme of what I was doing. So I did have some cardstock, and I will show the cardstock once we're back at the table, that was printed on one side, but it was plain white on the other side. So I wanted the other side to have some color or a pattern on the plain white side. So what I did was I did the print and cut feature with the silhouette so I could get the color that I wanted on the plain side of the cardstock. So we're going to go ahead and get started by, first of all, laying our image out on our mat. And this is a Silhouette Studio file, and you can pick it up at the online store, and I'll put a link to where you can purchase it in the bottom in the description bar. So I'm going to go out to my library, and I've already downloaded the file. It's called Baby Stroller, so we're going to double click that, and as you can see, it's now been added to our mat. Now it is added as one piece. If you decide you want to make it larger, you can go ahead and do that by using your handles to resize. Remember, do not ungroup this and do your resizing, because then everything will not be the same size. I am going to keep it the size that it came in as. So because I'm going to do that, I'm going to now set up so we can put our paper on the mat and do our print and cut. So I have my image selected. I'm going to right click and I'm going to click ungroup. So now my image has ungrouped, and I'm just going to go ahead and start moving pieces off my mat. So I can move them all at the same time, I'm just going to join them back together by highlighting them and then clicking group and moving them off to the side. So I'll grab the wheel and I'll hold down the shift key and go to the other wheel and right click and click group, and then I'll move that one over, and then I'll do the same thing for the other two wheels and move those off. And then these pieces right here, I'm going to group them together anyway because I want to move them all off the mat at the same time, but I won't be cutting those pieces because I'm going to do something different rather than what comes with the file. So now we have our actual stroller, and this is the piece that we want to cut in a different print. So I'm going to highlight everything, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to group all of this back together. So now I can move it around on my mat. So now the next thing we need to do is I need to go ahead and pick the pattern that I want on the other side of my printed cardstock. So I've already got my image highlighted, and I'm going to go up to the fill pattern window, and then I'm going to click my image. Now these fill pattern came with my software. I'm not sure if it comes with the silhouette version. I'm using the designer edition. They may have, I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to pick this fill pattern here. So this is what I want my paper to look like on the side that is plain. So now I need to set this up to do the print and cut. And remember, I said I don't have a 12 by 12 printer, so I do need to resize my mat so that it is now an 8.5 by 11 mat. And then what we're going to do is we are going to take and move this so we can fit it on the mat. But before we do that, we need to make sure we turn on the registration marks. The registration marks are what the silhouette uses, so it knows that it needs to cut this image if you are doing the print and cut. So I'm going to go up to my registration mark set window, and I'm going to click set registration marks. Now I never move these or adjust these. I guess you can if you want, but I've never done that. So now we need to go ahead and get this to fit on our mat, and rather than me going ahead and maneuvering and squeezing and moving around, I'm going to jump over to my file where I've already got it lined up on my mat. And as you can see, it does fit. It's a pretty tight fit, but I was able to manage to get it to fit on here. So now we're all set and ready to do our print and cut feature. So what you'll need to do, once again, when you're doing your print and cut, we don't want it to cut or print these outside lines and so forth. So you need to go to the cut style window, and you need to turn off, or first before that you need to highlight it. You need to turn off so that it does not cut that. And then you'll go ahead and send this to the printer, and it will print whatever pattern field you have asked it to print. And then you'll go back once you've printed it, and then you will turn back on the cut lines so that then we'll cut out your image. So that's it. That's how you can take and fill in a pattern if you have a cardstock that is plain on one side and has a pattern on the other. So now go ahead and lay your pieces out, and if you have double-sided paper, then you can just go ahead and lay everything out. If you don't have the double-sided paper, that's when you can use this feature. So once you've done that, meet me back at the table and we'll put everything together. Okay, everybody, so you should have gone ahead and cut out your pieces. So I'm going to bring mine up, and I've actually started putting one side together. So we're going to go ahead and put the other side together. So what I've done is I've taken some of the Beacon 3-in-1 glue. I like this for when I have to do projects like this. And I've put some along the edge here. And what you'll basically do is just go ahead and line this up. So now you're going to remember what you should have done is folded in these tabs so that this fits all the way around, and we'll just keep adding until they're all connected. And I use this Beacon's glue because it gives you some wiggle room when you need a little bit of wiggle room to add your pieces. So I'm actually going to start here at this piece right here because we want to make this even. And I'm going to press that in, and then I'm just going to keep going around. So let's make sure we've got enough. And I'm going to hold that in just for a few seconds. And then I'm going to continue going around and lining this up. I may have to add a little bit more of the glue because it may have dried from the time I first put it on there. will see. So that looks like that piece is stained. So I'm just going to continue lining up my edge along here and press down with my finger. And it looks like I may have to add some glue again, because my glue may have dried. So let me just go ahead and go around again and get my glue started. And I'm going to add my glue along the edge here again. And just keep going along the edge here. Now you can use a quick dry adhesive if you want, but I use the Beacon when I'm working with projects that are similar to this, where there's a lot of tabs and things that I need to make sure that they really hold. And I believe I used the Beacon when I was putting those roses together for the Mother's Day roses that I did that were the SVG file. So rather than you sit here and watch me do this, I'm going to go ahead and finish putting this piece together, and then I'll come back. Okay everybody, so I've gone ahead and put the top of, or put my buggy together, or stroller. And you'll note that on the handles there are some score marks for you to go ahead and fold it back like so. And then on the outside what I've done is gone ahead and put some trim from this trim that I picked up at Michael's, and I put some on each side. So the next thing you want to do is put your wheels on, and I've gone ahead and put the wheels together so when they look like this, and I used the cardstock that was the same as the cardstock for the inside. And I did say that I was going to show what that cardstock looked like, and this is some Recollections cardstock, and I apologize for the glare. So my cardstock, the print was on this side, and this side was plain, and that's why we went ahead and did our fill pattern so that I could get my cardstock to be double-sided. So now what we need to do is put our wheels on, and there are no markings on here where the wheels are supposed to go, so you're going to have to do some judging on your own. And the other thing that I've done is I've gone ahead and put just a little bling in the center there of the wheel center, and I've popped it up on some foam tape. So now what I'm going to do is, when I looked at the diagram, it looks like one wheel, the larger wheels are in the front, and they're close to the edge here. So I'm just going to get, I think I'm going to put some glue on the back, and I'm used a glue gun for this. I'm going to put the glue on the back of here, and I'm just going to, like I said, you're going to have to judge where your wheel should be. So I'm going to place my wheel there, and then for the back wheel I'm going to do the same thing, because you want it to sit up. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on the back of this wheel. And then I'm just going to line that up close to the edge there. Now we know how I don't like to measure, because so when I'm looking at this I got to make sure that I kind of get this even. So I'm going to go ahead and do my other side and put those wheels on, and then I'm going to put the rest of my embellishments that I want to put on here, and I'll come back with the finished baby stroller. Okay everybody, so I'm back with the finished baby buggy. And so what I've done is along here on this side and on this side, and as you recall I said they don't know if they're having a boy or a girl, so I did want to add the pink and blue in there, and I added these iridescent blossom leaves, and they come 100 in a pack, and I bought these a couple of years ago at a scrapbooking show. So I've got a blue one on this side and then a pink one on this side. And it also comes with the leaf as well. And then what I've done is I've just taken some scrap cardstock that I had left over, and I added like a little valance to block out the sun, and I used my Stampin' Up! Scallop punch to do that and just cut a piece. I didn't measure anything, so I can't give you a measurement as to how wide or big this is. So that's it, everybody. This is the finished stroller that is going to go with the gift that I made. I'm going to lay it that way. For the baby shower. So thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.